Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and today I want to talk to you about metatarsal stress fractures. I was supposed to do it last night, fell asleep, so it was not done, so I will do it this morning here for you. So metatarsal stress fractures, I'm going to answer the four questions again. First of all, what is a metatarsal stress fracture? As you look at the bones of the foot, you have the phalanges or the toes, you have the metatarsals, which are the bones in the middle, and then you have the tarsals, which are all the other bones, including the heel bone and ankle bone and so forth. So the metatarsals are what we're talking about. So when you talk about a metatarsal stress fracture, basically what it is, it's a crack in the bones. When we talk about fractures, you can actually have fractures that are cracked, that are apart from each other, or you can have just a little crack in the bone. And in this case, that's what a stress fracture is a little crack. Usually doesn't go through and through, may break one of the cortexes, but usually doesn't break both. There is no risk of movement or so forth. And they usually occur without significant cause, without significant damage reason. So the most common stress fractures are called march fractures, which are the fractures that the soldiers would get after marching for a period of time, and they get them in the second metatarsal to just get a crack in that bone from stress, from chronic stress to that area. The same thing happens a lot of times with us. We may be in a certain shoe, we may be doing a certain activity, and we don't notice anything while it's happening. But hours later, or even at night or the next day, we start to notice that there's significant pain and swelling in our foot, and as we start to evaluate it later on, whether it's x-rays or whatever, you actually get a stress fracture, which is a crack in the bone. Again, people ask me all the time, so this is a stress fracture. Is it a fracture or is it a break? Fractures are breaks. They're actually the same thing. So a stress fracture is just not a through and through break. It doesn't break all the way through the bone. So in this case, it doesn't break all the way through the metatarsal. So it's a march fracture. Why does it happen? It's an over or a stress in that bone. So you've got a bone and you're stressing it, and it cracks because you're overstressing it. What can you do for those at home? If you suspect you may have a stress fracture, the best thing to do is to protect yourself, to protect the area, protect the bone, do whatever you need to do so that it can actually function like it's supposed to without continuing to stress. So if it's a certain shoe that did it, don't wear that shoe. If it's a certain activity that did it, don't currently do that activity. If you've got a harder soled shoe or something that you can actually protect it with, or a splint or something, those all help. If the pains continue to get worse and you're not able to control it, or it seems to be getting more swollen or more painful, then I recommend you see a doctor and get evaluated. A lot of times you can actually get evaluated and get an x-ray and evaluate whether it's a stress fracture or not. You need to understand two things though. Plain film, normal x-rays usually won't see a stress fracture for 7 to 14 days. With new technology, with the ability of a computer to clarify it and to clear it up and so forth, a lot of times you can catch a stress fracture within hours of it happening. So you can catch them a lot sooner. And then you can start treating it by protecting it and doing those types of things. So if you're having a significant pain in your foot, you don't remember an injury, but it's getting worse, a lot of times it is a stress fracture. It should be evaluated and get treatment. This is Dr. Brandt Gibson, and this is your Podiatry Tips Day 210, metatarsal stress fracture. I do recommend you get it evaluated. I do recommend you get it treated, especially if the pain's not getting better. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.